Donald Tardy. How's it going with you and Obituary?
It's going great, man. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me about this tour and about our band.
Hey, not a problem. So, Carnival of Death Tour is going to be going to Canada in September. Tell me about your visions on how this is all going to go.
I'm excited about it, man. Obituary hasn't done a full-blown tour in probably over 3 years, and especially us going from East Coast all the way through Canada to West Coast. I'm super excited about that. We don't play Canada enough, and when we do, it's as most bands, it's only the obvious city. So for us to go to go to some of the places that we're going, I'm just excited about it. I can't wait. I hope the Canadian fans are ready, and we are definitely looking forward to this.
Because I'm sure the Canadian fans don't get to see a treat like that. Obituary being, one of the founding death metal bands of the world, when you look at it all, it's a great treat for the fans, to see this all going on, and you're headlining.
Yeah, and it is a good lineup, to have Broken Hope reformed and to this will be their first time touring in many years. I think that's very cool for the fans to see too. And with Obituary, we've been around for so long, but we don't get to Canada all that much. So I'm sure that with the right promotion, we'll get the word out there in Canada and give metal fans a chance, probably their first opportunity to probably see these bands. So, we're trying our best to make a special set list for this tour also, because we know, Obituary now has been a band for over 25 years, and a lot of people always talk about the first few albums and how classic they are. So our focus right now is, are we really gonna focus on the really old songs and give the fans what they've been asking for, and make a classic set of majority of the songs are going to come off the first 2 or 3 records.
Is this going to be a fan pick songs, or like the band's going to decide what's going to go on for the song list?
The band is definitely asking the fans through our Facebook and our Twitter to please send us their opinions on what they think, because we are looking forward to that, to their input and letting us know what they think would be cool. We're thinking of probably stuff off the first 3 albums. I believe even World Demise, the 4th record, is now 20 years old, I think, which is pretty hard to believe. It might be stuff off the first 4 albums, which would be 20 years of music. On the other hand, if we get enough people and enough feedback from people, we very well might keep it down to we might play the entire first album just to give people something super, super cool. It has not been decided yet, and we are definitely looking for our American and our Canadian fans to give us their 3 cents worth, and we will definitely take it into consideration because we're practicing right now for the upcoming tour.
What would you say would be the highlight of the era of of Obituary? Would be like the Incomplete album?
The early mid '90s was definitely a breaking point for metal music in America, around the world, metal fans, and the Incomplete was right there at a perfect time. It was a great written album. The production is pretty awesome for the time it was, and Roadrunner at the time, the record label at the time, was focused on Obituary, which is always a good thing for bands. So it was a highlight. It was the part of the time of the world where, when we would play shows, there would be a lot of people. The clubs would be packed. And nowadays, it is very tough with the economy and just how many bands are on this planet nowadays. It's very hard for fans to go see every show that comes into town. So, the mid-'90s was something amazing. But we do see a full circle right now. We do see that a lot of fans are into it. Especially with the world of the internet, they definitely are talking about it. They love to talk about it. Unfortunately, we don't sell records anymore just because of the internet, but that's a whole nother story. You can't complain, you can't cry about that. You have to use the internet to your advantage. Mm-hmm. And the main thing with the internet is obviously communication with our fans. So with this tour, we're definitely communicating to try and get it back the way it was in the early '90s, and get these clubs packed with some metalheads.
It could be too now. You're maybe not selling CDs, but merchandise is maybe selling better, at concerts. Would it be like that?
Well, I wouldn't use the word better, but merchandise still does sell, and that is what keeps the bands on this, keeps them above water. So we definitely always beg fans to realize what we do as a band and how much money we put into it and our heart and soul. So, the band's job is to get albums recorded, and even though we don't sell that many records anymore, we know that we have to dump all our money and our heart and soul into the albums, and for the fans in return, we ask them to come to the shows and buy a shirt, man. With Obituary, as you know, we always try and pick great cover artwork, so in return it turns into great merchandise. And I think fans of Obituary are very proud to wear the artwork of the album covers of Obituary. So we're still focused on that. And yeah, the merchandise is a big thing, man. So we hope that people save their pennies. And come September when we come through, I really hope that they support the band, come out and see the show, and support Obituary by buying a shirt, because we know that's what keeps us alive.
And you guys have a new album coming out anytime?
We are in the heart of writing it, but because we just did Europe last month, and we are about to do all of America, most of America and Canada on this run. And then there's still negotiations of us maybe going back to Europe in November, December sometime. There's not much time here at the house and here at the studio for us to complete the album. So what we're really focused on is writing. We're writing songs. We're recording the ones that we already have written for the new album, just to have some rough tracks to keep them in our brains. But we will definitely wait until the beginning of the year to really get into the studio and get set up and start recording the album. So if it was my guess, it's going to be a summertime release next year. We don't want to rush it. We want to make sure that everything is in place. We want to make sure that the record label that we choose is going to be eager for a great album, and we want to deliver a great album to our fans.
What's your thinking about Randy Blythe and all the bad stuff that's been passing around there?
It's some of the most ridiculous non-law scenario I've ever heard in my life. Randy's a good friend of mine. I don't know if you saw the YouTube of me, but they invited me on stage 3 or 4 days before he went to jail. They invited me on stage to play drums on the song Redneck at Grass Pop this year, and it was an amazing it was one of the best times of my life. And got to hang out with Randy all night long. And then all of a sudden I see my good friend go to Czech Republic and get handcuffed and to jail for something that he had no idea that even happened. It's so ridiculous that they can point the finger at the artist when they hired the artist to be on stage. They hired security to keep the fans off stage. How the artist gets blamed for something by simply doing his job is ridiculous. It's sad, and he needs to get out of there. So we are definitely backing him with the Free Randy sites everywhere, and trying to get the petitions and getting the fans aware of what's going on, and getting government involved, and everybody that can talk about it. We really need to support that dude, and we need to support that band, and we need to help them in whatever way they need help, and get him out of there and get him out of that country, because it's bullshit.
You think the U.S. government is going to get into it eventually?
I have no idea. I would hope so. The sad thing is, if this was Justin Bieber in jail, I guarantee the government would be a part of it, simply because there would be that many more people and children talking about it, and soccer moms talking about it. But because it's a metalhead, it'd probably be looked past, and that's just complete nonsense. It's complete bullshit. Here's an American citizen over there wrongfully accused of something and sitting in a jail after he already posted bail twice. It's ridiculous. If it was anything else, if it was some politician that happened to go there and that happened to them, or if it was a athlete or something like that, something else would be done. But it's so sad, the kind of shit that's going on with that poor guy. And from what I understand, he's done nothing but cooperate. He's kept a positive attitude, and he's done everything that they told him that he needs to do, including putting up $250,000 to try and get himself out. And it still hasn't happened.
We can only pray for the best for Randy, because he has to get out of there.
Absolutely, and let the fans know. I mean, for God's sakes, all we got to do is still do what they're asking. Support him by buying the Free Randy shirt. Try and raise money, because a lot of people think, oh, Lamb of God, they're rich. That's not a problem with money. That's so not true, man. They just lost so much money in Europe by having to cancel the rest of that tour. Now they just canceled their American tour. There's so much money being dumped into their lawyers and everything that needs to help and happen for that guy that fans really have to understand that those dudes are far from rich. They need help. They need support. And most importantly, we need to just focus on how to get him out of there, man, because it's so unfair that he's sitting in a room right now behind bars for no apparent reason.
Mm. The capital of metal, like the capital city, where would metal be more valuable at, you know?
I don't know, man. You know, I know back in the day Florida was the upcoming death metal capital, but you know, it's so far spread out and the fans are so spread out, especially in America. It's such a big country. It's so spread out. And there's so many damn bands on this planet and in this country that it's tough to say where it is. You know, America is a very widespread area for bands to conquer. So with Obituary, we're just very, very happy that we still can do what we do and that fans still support us. And that's why even in the times of struggling to even get the money to try and record records, we still do our best, man. We still try and put out quality albums because there are fans out there that love us and deserve not just an album but a great record, and that's what we're really focused on for this next release.
Well, I look forward to seeing this next release, and I'm sure it'll be a classic, as they always are, by Obituary.
Yeah, you know, some of these new songs we're so excited about. We don't want to jump the gun. We don't want to tell people that there's a certain release time or date or anything like that. But I do have to say that the 3 or 4 songs that we have ready, they are unbelievable. They are classic Obituary songs. I'm very excited about them. I can't wait for the fans to hear them. We have a new website that we're a part of, and the new songs and the new album is going to be definitely a big part of the website to really try and push people to this new website because we're excited about it.
So you're saying you're going to have a new website?
Yeah, there's a new website, man. It's a monster of a website. It's called unation.com. It's with the letter U, Nation. It's something that my brother and I know the founder of. He's a super cool dude. He's put tons of money into it. He's got a monster team behind him that's building this thing, and it's basically like every website that everybody wants to have all in one. It's Facebook meets MySpace meets just Twitter meets everything all in one for bands and fans and sports fans and education and colleges. It's a new social networking platform that for bands, for like myself and my fans, it is going to be a fun experience because we are going to let people come inside the world of Obituary through unation.com and literally be able to see what the band does on stage, behind stage, after hours, on the bus, during the travel, during the writing of the record, in the studio. When I'm getting ready to practice my drums, we'll do a live feed from the studio that I'll just simply have a 30-minute practice and let people tune in around the world and see a live performance. We're going to do actual live events streamed live over the internet for the world to see, and this is all coming soon. By the end of the year, this website is going to be flying, and we're very proud to be a part of it, and we're very excited to get the fans in on this. You know, Facebook is a phenomenal thing. Most of the time, if you ask people, it's very frustrating, for me especially. It seems frustrating because everyone's doing it because it's really the only thing out there, and people do like getting in each other's business, and they like talking about things with each other. And with UNation, it puts a heartbeat to a website, and it adds character to everything. And I think fans are really going to shit themselves when they see this website and what Obituary is going to do with it. We're going to allow people to become members and literally tune into our studio, watch us when we're writing songs. We're actually going to let people see how we perform on the album, how we record records, and then like the grand finale is if and when we do ask people to become members, you become a membership, like say it's going to be an annual membership. Obituary is willing and we're ready to probably anyone that becomes a member, we're going to let them in to see how we do record this thing. We're actually going to probably let the members see my brother sing a new song off the new album in the studio and see how we do that, how we do it behind the Pro Tools rig, and show them how we actually perform on the albums and get them the sound that we get with John's voice. So it's very exciting right now. I'm looking forward to it, man.
That sounds like a whole big thing you guys are organizing. Sounds awesome.
It is. It is a big thing. I could talk for days about it, but obviously the main thing is, in about 2 or 3 months from now, we're going to be ready to launch this thing, and we will definitely make it to where when fans become U Nation friends and they are a part of our website, they are going to love what they see. They're going to see not just the music side of Obituary, but they're going to see the personal side. They're going to see what we do off stage. They're going to see what we do on our time together when we're at home relaxing. That we're going to show them how we barbecue and write music, and fans are going to be in there with the webcam. They're going to be able to watch it live. They're going to be able to watch pay-per-view events of us playing old classic songs. We're going to have Tardy Brother performances in the studio for people to watch to get familiar with it. And just the quality of this website is so amazing. It really does blow fire on Facebook. And you combine that with the MySpace feel, how cool that was for about 10 seconds. Now all of a sudden it's Twitter and Facebook. And with U Nation, they really did bring a heartbeat to this thing, and fans I think are going to really enjoy watching what bands can do with this, with the power of this website.
Excellent stuff. Well, Donald, been a pleasure talking to you about all this stuff, and U Nation sounds very interesting. Carnival
Absolutely.
Tour is going to be totally kick ass, I think.
Absolutely, and we encourage the fans to please, for these next 2 weeks, man, to really hit us on Facebook and Twitter, listen to those first two albums, and give us their input. What song do you want to hear live on stage? Because we have not made the set list a determined factor yet. We're actually still writing it now, so their opinion means everything to us, so hit us up.
Excellent stuff. Well, Donald, you have a great summer, and talk to you another day.
Great, man. See you soon.